Peace, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. This is Shadowbox Finale. Shadowbox Finale is about one thing only. It's where I give you the plays. Give you all the plays that I made this weekend for UFC, and I give them to you all for free. Hang out for a while. Fights on the card. That's like half what we usually have. I've been getting a lot of comments, flag in mail, whatever. People who watch the Shadowbox, people who watch the Midnight Shadow, saying that they went to the lines and they're not what I said they were. What are you guys? Been in this game for 5 minutes? Lines move. Lines move. They move all day long, and they're going to continue to move. If I tell you a line is something 2 days ago, yeah, of course, the line's going to be moved. Anyway, that was ridiculous. I would just say that the lines have corrected themselves, sort of. The last I looked, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, yesterday, before I came on the show, before we did the Midnight Shadow, Diego Lopes was minus 170 to win his fight, 70 cents. His opponent, Steve Garcia, had the shortest method. It was plus 265 for a knockout. Diego Lopes, at the time, screenshot, yes, I do have, for Bet365 and FanDuel, Diego Lopes at the time was plus 330. Wow. Steve Garcia was plus 265 to get a knockout. And none of the other ones were even close to those two. So, somebody said, well, what about the submission? Or what about, well, maybe that's because they expected such and such to get a decision. Neither one of those lines, none of the other lines, submission or decision, were anywhere near what the knockout lines were for both of those gentlemen. And like I said, so far now today, looking at it before I got on here, they corrected themselves. They're both down a little bit. Diego Lopes was plus 235 now, and Steve Garcia was plus 255. So they corrected slightly. There has not been much correction in the Bo Nickel over underline. And it was still plus money when I got here. So the only thing I would do on this differently, now that I'm looking at it here in front of you guys before I give it to you, is I might take that Bo Nickel Kyle Dawkins over 2.5 rounds by itself. I don't see why not. On one book it was plus 120. On another book it was plus 124. Still holding around that price. The point of that one was the most likely method that we had, the finish to the fight on the Warlord system, was Bo Nickel by decision. So you take that to the book, compare the lines, the shortest method of odds they had, both books, and I'm sorry I didn't check out 17 books for you guys on this. I do have a site for that. I didn't check out DK. I didn't check out the score. And these are books I have. MGM, Fanatics. I'm present on all these books. I didn't check those on this because when I first seen it, those were the two books that I had open. So I was just comparing them, going back and forth like, wow, look at this line. So that line really hasn't caught up. And I hope it doesn't. But I would say right now I have 4 plays plus my 7 arena challenge. So if you're frisky, if you want to possibly add that fifth play, you know, add the Bo Nickel, Kyle Dawkins over 2.5 rounds. But since we're there, we'll start right there. Bring it up. Bow. We got the Castle Parlay. Now, if you've been with us on the channel, you know that the Castle Parlay is what we feel, not the odds. Not the odds. What we feel is our most confident play. We have a equation, we have a metric. We don't just, I mean, there's more than like, there's more than like 20, 25 things that go into how we develop a confidence rating for the fight. Now, that's not even getting to how we develop what side we want to get to on the fight. That's just how we come back with the confidence rating, which is on a scale of 1 to 10. So that being said, the Castle Parlay is usually some of our most confident spots on the card put together. Now, a lot of times it ends up being a 3-leg that's not even plus money, because what you'll have is minus 400 man, minus 400 fighter, a minus 600 fighter, you know, and usually they're priced that long or that short odds, or terrible odds, really, because they're the better fighter, because the books know, the books expect them to win. Now, there are spots, and you guys know this, and you know I will always speak on the curious case of Daniel Zellhuber, who every time he comes up in front of my board and I go to study these fights, he's minus 520, minus 750, minus 965. Daniel Zellhuber loses all these fights, even at these minus numbers, even in his home country of Mexico, in Mexico City, in front of everybody. He lets it down, so you can't go by odds. Daniel Zellhuber never scores high on our confidence meter, so you never see him in a Castle Parlay. All right, so we felt like Sean O'Malley and Ayman Zahabi were going over 2.5 rounds. That was minus 180, so that is expected to go over that long. But Bo Nickel and Kyle Dawkins, who's finishing that fight? I know that the Darce Knight has chokes. I know the Darce Knight has chokes. I've seen it many times. Is Kyle Dawkins going to get Bo Nickel in a Darce choke and choke him out? That's the only way he's finishing him. Now, I could see Bo Nickel maybe, I don't know. I was going to say I could see Bo Nickel maybe beating up Kyle Dawkins a little bit, getting him out of there with a KO, maybe some ground and pound. But that's going to be tough. Kyle Dawkins is a tough guy. Since his comeback to the UFC, he's a lot tougher than a lot of people expect. So, we're going to see. We know our position. Our position, Bo Nickel, Kyle Dawkins, over 2.5 rounds. Sean O'Malley, Ayman Zahabi, over 2.5 rounds, the two of them. This is why I'm telling you, explaining so much about the Castle Parlay. It's probably going to be the longest explanation of anything today. Well, I don't know. We'll see. Plus 233 on the Castle. We do not usually have odds of plus 233 on the Castle. Like I said, the Castle's our position of safety. You don't get a 2-leg that's safe for plus 233. We did. We're glad we got it. We're not scared by that position. We're glad we got that number because, like I said, we're not playing the odds. We are playing our research. And I advise you to do the same. Next up, the one we would have led with any other time, 100 down, the series, the signature, wham, bam. Been getting its butt kicked, man, for the last 2-3 weeks. 100 down usually does fine. We're fine. Since it's inception, we're rocking about even, but only rocking about even because we've lost like 3 out of 4, 5 out of 7. So, let's pick this up. It's been a lot of strange upsets, though, too. And, the one I'm still not giving back, the one I will still cry about to this day, my only bet I cry about, it's because she didn't lose. Jamie Lynn Horth. We had Jamie Lynn Horth in a 3-leg 100 down, and we hit all 3 legs, except the judges who judged her fight didn't think we hit that leg. Oh, we're not going to talk about that. Watch that fight. Y'all know what I'm talking about. We talk about all the time. Jamie Lynn Horth won that fight. That was an absolute robbery. We need our money back. Listen, 100 down this week. Mauricio Hufi, KO or decision. One leg. Sugar Sean O'Malley, KO or decision. That's leg 2. Ilia Topuria on the money line, who the last time I seen it was well over 5 something. 6. What we got here? Jesus Christ. Yeah, 650 on the money line for Topuria. And that's going down. That's going up and down from minus 600 to minus 650. It's moving all day. Crazy, man. Crazy. Is he fighting Justin Gaethje or what? Nobody should be that big of a favorite over Justin Gaethje. I feel like that's disrespectful. I feel like Justin Gaethje is a dangerous man. Dangerous. And, well, Ilia Topuria is too. Don't get me wrong. You know the man. 100 down, you get all 3 of those together. It feels like the castle and 100 down switch positions. Minus 115 on 100 down this week. 2 units. It feels like that because we made it like that. I told you it went down 3 weeks in a row. Like 5 out of 7. No, 4 out of 5. So we need to get it back in line. We need to get this week, definitely. And this was a tight week with only 5 matchups. So that's why it's looking more like the castle. But we could have tricked it out with just Rufi, O'Malley, and Topuria lines. That got us minus 151 just on the money line. And I didn't feel like everybody would love that. Minus 151 for our signature play. And we have taken it a little wider than that before. I think we got Lerone Murphy for minus 155 one time at Smack. But anyway, that is the 100 down play. Our second bet in. That's 3.25 units in already. Then we move to the North Coast House Special. This one is a little bit more risky. Now, we hit this one last week. We hit the Castle Parlay last week. We hit one of our methods last week for plus money. We won 4 bets last week out of 7 that we laid down. Fantastic week watching the fights. Got some money back. Did not do as well as we wanted to on the card, as well as we should have, with winning the majority of our bets because the 100 down bet went down. Man. Fariz Zaim. Ugh. That's all I have to say to you, Fariz Zaim. Ugh. I ain't mad at you, though. Fighters fight. Bettors win. Bettors lose. And it has nothing to do with fighters fighting. Unless they're cheating. But I do not feel like Zaim cheated, and I accept my loss. We go down in that one. North Coast House Special. Bo Nickel, Diego Lopes on the money line. Plus 108. We got that on Bet 365. We threw a full unit on it. Let's go. I think both of those guys are going to win. I trust both of those guys to win what I really need for it to happen. And that is for Bo Nickel to win by decision and Diego Lopes to get a knockout. That would be great. And that leads me into our 4th and final play that we have in on this card. The late edition, one we were mulling over back and forth. The reason we hadn't played it, Steve Garcia, professional fighter. Steve Garcia, more wins in the UFC than Diego Lopes. 2 more wins and only 1 more fight. Steve Garcia is a fantastic mixed martial artist who can do many things. He is not limited to one thing out there. And I just still feel like he is not on Diego Lopes's level. Diego Lopes has fought a much tougher schedule. Diego Lopes has beaten one of my favorite fighters in a fantastic match. Him and Lord Silva going at it. Yeah, we have great respect for Diego Lopes. Like, Steve Garcia is one of our favorite fighters here at the channel. We love Steve Garcia. And while Diego Lopes is not one of my favorite fighters, respect and recognition go beyond, certain things, especially when you're in the business that we are in. Money is, favoritism is not. So, in the spirit of that, Diego Lopes, man, he has got to be the choice for this one. And we've got our fourth bet was Diego Lopes, double chance, FD. It was Diego Lopes either by KO or decision, plus 120 on that. So as long as Diego Lopes doesn't take Steve Garcia's back, which I don't want to say I'm confident in it not happening, because I don't want to portray any false confidence. Diego Lopes can get submissions. That is a real threat. He's not bankrupt in the submission department by any means. But, I mean, if you watch Diego Lopes, man, he's a banger. You've seen that John Silva fight. You've seen some of his other fights. He's a banger. He wants to bang. Steve Garcia is going to be his Huckleberry, I believe. Steve Garcia is going to Steve Garcia is going to fight a smarter fight than, Lord Silva. But in the end, I still feel like Diego Lopes is a better fighter. And that's the tough thing about the business that we are in. The better fighter does not always win. And you know that. So that's what I got out there. 4 to 5, another half. We've got 4.75 units on the line and only 7 fights. 4 bets. Double chances out there. We don't have any straight methods this week. None. No, you have to get a knockout is the only way that we can win. We stayed off of any of those today. If we do have a method in for this week, it's a double chance. Mostly parlays because the lines were so bad. You can go in on Cyril Gane and Alex Pereira, but as I was saying yesterday, you can't. You could say what you want, but you can't give me a confident position. You're faking confidence if you are. You can't give me a confident position on this. You can be confident on this, and you don't have to be faking it. But your confidence is false. It's wrong. Alex Pereira has never fought a guy like Cyril Gane before at this level. And on Cyril Gane's side, you could be fighting possibly one of the greatest pound-for-pound fighters ever in the history of the world. We just don't know what's going to happen with him moving up to 258. Moving up to heavyweight, and all the talk has been that he's at 258 and he looks great. And I did see him after weigh-ins. He does look great. Here's the thing: how's he going to carry that 258? How's he going to move 258? How's he going to wear 258 after 2-3 rounds if he hasn't knocked Cyril Gane out? If I'm Cyril Gane, and you'll hear this on the breakdown video if you choose to watch such a thing so late. But if I'm Cyril Gane, especially these first few rounds, I'm making Alex Pereira, he's not going to carry 258 pounds. I'm going to make him carry 500 pounds, 550 pounds. I'm going to lean on him. I'm going to cage him. I'm going to do nothing. I'm going to hear the crowd boo the first 2 rounds while I do nothing but lay on the champion and tire him and gas him and hold him. And if your conditioning is still strong, Cyril Gane, you come out in that 3rd round and go to work and see what that switch to heavyweight really do. Now, that's it for you guys. We got the 4 in. I do have a Shadow's Ego Challenge in. That is our challenge we have on our website, the leaderboard, every single week that there's a UFC fight. You pick 7 fighters on the money line. If you haven't won the week before, you put $5 in, not with us. We are not a sports book. You put $5 money line parlay of these fighters in on your book. Give us a screenshot. Give us a screenshot of your play. You know, block out all your information that's, you know, relevant. All we need to see is that you only put $5 on it and that who your 7 fighters are. That way, and I can get you on the leaderboard. Then you'll be eligible for the prize money. If you win, you'll be able to move up. You get to keep your titles. It's a fantastic thing we put together. It's amazing. It's a lot of fun. The people who do it have fun. Like, man, I should have gotten this earlier. The people who win are like, wow. And the people who are on the outside are like, oh, you gotta pay money for that. Shit, Sherlock. Yo, I'm getting out of here. Thank you. I would tell you to do this and that on the way out, but the real savages already know what to do. You already know what to do. I'll see y'all later, man. It's good to spend a little time, though. Peace. Good luck on your bets, man. For real, though. All right. 1.